This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Hey guys,
Hey, Jacob.
are you ready to figure out who is the number one 90s alternative band?
No. See you guys later.
Whew, thank heaven. That is stressful. I'm glad that's over.
I, for one, am ready.
Because it's time.
Are we going to do it today
We're going to do it right now.
or
kid.
next week?
Oh, wait. Should we put it off
Yeah,
another week?
I feel like we're going to do this show for 2 hours.
I feel like we have a Power Rangers episode we could just use as a full episode.
Okay, so Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa
Guys, we have a
are
lot of
always
show
at
to
each
get through.
other's throats.
We have a lot of show to get through. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
Okay, let's do this.
First of all, 100th show, Jacob. You want to plug that?
So by the time you're hearing this, the 100th show should be pretty much planned out. However, I mean, maybe we could take it in a last-minute applicant if you're just hearing about this for the first time and you're extremely convincing. So, yeah, 100th show, you're going to want to listen to this next week because this is a big celebration. We've done 100 shows, guys. Woo-hoo! 100 shows, 2 years next month, which is just crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
I mean, how many shows with the Bacon Bits? You had the number earlier.
It's like 114. But
And that was March.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, yeah, for 100th show, we're going to have a quiz show where we're bringing on you, the listener, here to compete against Kent and Joel. Mm-hmm.
And lose. Which is
And
nice.
lose.
And I do have to say, these guys are pretty formidable when it comes to pop culture knowledge, but I will be giving you an edge.
Yeah, we are.
So,
Wait, what?
You will have a fighting chance.
Yeah. Please bring it on.
Yes.
Team JK for life.
Speaking of bringing it on,
Oh, I love that movie.
Are we gonna talk about
I said, Burr, it's cold in here.
so much show to get through. We appreciate your feedback that you've given us already.
Do we?
Well, it's amazing to me how
Hold
people
on.
get...
But you're getting right into it, aren't
Yes,
you?
yes, yes.
Okay, there was one other thing I wanted to say, too, which is, look, listener, we've been doing pretty well. And we... Why is that so funny?
Look, listener.
You kind of took your time. That's all.
Yeah, you're like, I know you're hurrying, Joel. One sec. So...
All right, maybe we should just cut that and go back. Anyway, all right, all right. So I've been reaching out to find some sponsors for the show. And if you are a business owner, or if you know someone who's a business owner, I'd like to thank one of our listeners actually gave me the idea. He direct messaged me today and said he knew of a business might be interested. And so I thought, why am I not just telling everyone this?
Yeah.
So if you're a business owner and you wouldn't mind getting some advertising here on Baconsale, message me.
Money? What's money? I do this for the love.
We do. It's true.
I do it for the money.
So
I've got 27 kids to feed.
So you can reach out to me on baconsalepodcast@gmail.com or message us on Baconsale or DM me on Twitter as well.
Slide into his DMs.
Don't.
Slide right in.
Family friendly.
Joel, go.
What are we doing?
Now
Thank
we're
you.
moving on.
Thank you for all your feedback. People are really opinionated about this, and I think it's funny that people are...
These are babies.
Everyone thinks their opinion is the right one. They're like, you're so wrong here. And I'm like, according to your opinion. And then we're giving our opinion. So that's kind of the way the show is going.
Baconsale approved is a thing.
Guys, I don't
It
know
is.
what you're talking about. These are facts that we're putting down. Everyone else is just
Do you
wrong.
agree with that? Because you had some issues last time around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, everything I said was fact.
Sure.
So, no, we thank you for your feedback. We're going to wrap it up today, and you're going to be even more mad at us. But we want to emphasize once again that we are going to be using objective facts along with our subjective opinions. In fact, it'll probably get more subjective as it goes on because we've already exhausted all our facts.
Here's the thing. Get mad all you want. Bring it. Because there will be only one winner and 63 losers in this whole tournament. So your favorite band will not make it to the top of the 90s, most likely.
Wow.
Unless I guess right.
That was a harsh
They
reality
might be
check, man.
giants for the champs.
Don't tease with my emotions.
Team Hopper. Stop it. Let's do this.
All right, Jacob, let's do it. So for those of you who didn't listen last show, which you should have, Jacob's going to present two bands we have in our bracket, which you can find on baconsale.com. We are going to whittle these down from the 64 to the 32 to the 18 to the 16 to the 8
Leg
to the
bones
4 to
connected
the 2.
yes.
And then
To
the
the
grand
one.
winner. The grand winner. And once again, the criteria was they had to have at least 2 hits in the 90s, and they had to have peaked in the 90s, and they had to be alternative.
Yep. And that's a good sum up. Let's get started.
All right. I hate this.
All right. First matchup is going to be Jewel versus Stone Temple Pilots.
No, that's not
No,
right.
it is not.
What do you
Jacob.
mean? What do you mean?
Jacob.
Didn't Jewel win last
We're
time?
trying to speed through these first rounds so we can get more attention to the
all right,
end.
All right. I thought it was... Oh, yeah. Nirvana won. All right. Okay. Nirvana versus Stone Temple Pilots.
What a great matchup.
Go.
Which should have been this at first, in my opinion. It should have been Nirvana versus Stone Temple Pilots first round and Jewel versus Sarah McLachlan. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that on Twitter, and I was like, yep, you're right.
Yep.
I don't know who was in charge of this, but
Jimmy Chunga,
I did that too.
Kent Dunn. All right.
Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots.
Stone Temple Pilots.
What a great matchup.
Kent, go ahead.
Nirvana.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
You're going to knock Stone Temple Pilots
Stone Temple
out that much.
Pilots sold a ton of albums. Their albums are actually great. It's just they didn't really last much longer after the 90s. Scott Weiland lost his voice and his mind a little bit. Oh, I don't even want to talk about what happened to Kurt Cobain because...
Well,
Kurt Cobain, he did. Look, he shot himself, obviously, thinking he needed to die, just like all the classic rockers like Jimi Hendrix and I forget her name,
Janis Joplin.
And so he wanted to go out on top when he was 27 years old, and he didn't want to fade into the dust. And so, yeah, I mean, it was really dumb. But Nirvana may not be as big as they are. But that said, their music is lasting. Their legacy is still huge.
They are the voice of the grunge from the 90s.
Yes.
The question is whether they're the best 90s alternative band.
You want me to go next?
What?
You want me to go next?
Yeah, go
Are
next.
you thinking? So their legacy has lasted a really long time. Their music, however, I don't think is as lasting. At least it is lasting, I should say that, but it's not more so than I think a lot of other bands that are on this list. I'm going to go Stone Temple Pilots because I actually prefer their music.
Well, see,
And they made more of it.
that's the problem, too, because I have to admit, I went through a Nirvana phase like most kids in the 90s, and I'd listened to Never Knowing Like a Crazy Person because that was fun.
Did you like Unplugged in New York?
Not as much.
It's actually my favorite album.
That's a really good album.
You know I'm a fan of studio albums over live
Yes.
albums, and so that one was fine, but I didn't get the love that people got
I love
for
it.
No, that's actually the only album that I was like, okay, I think I might like these guys.
Yeah.
Because everything else is kind of over.
Also, and I just want to throw this out there, that Billy Corgan, following Scott Weiland's death, because Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots also died later on,
Recently.
much more recently. He said, it was Stone Temple Pilots' third album that got me hooked, a wizardly mix of glam and post-punk. And I confessed to Scott, as well as the band many times, how wrong I'd been in assessing their native brilliance. If you asked me who I truly believed were the great voices of our generation, I'd say it were he, Lane, and Kurt.
Okay.
So that's a
But
endorsement from Billy.
what he's doing is he's lifting Scott's name up to the levels of Kurt.
Exactly, because Kurt Cobain and Nirvana are the better band, and they're going to move ahead.
All right.
As much as it pains me, because I do love Stone Temple Pilots. Oh,
I was really worried there.
Just listening to them again.
I know,
If
Nirvana went out second round, I got real quiet.
No, yeah, I figured Joel was going to go Nirvana.
I had to, because I love Stone Temple Pilots, but I do think they're lesser known and lesser influential than Nirvana is.
Next match. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
They Might Be Giants.
Yep.
Versus Smashing Pumpkins.
Gosh.
Now, there were some people in the last show.
Some people.
2 people out of all of them, but there were 2 people who didn't seem to appreciate or understand They Might Be Giants. And it's because, some people just don't understand happiness. That's what it comes down to. Because They Might Be Giants is happy and alternative, meaning they don't stick to one genre. They bounce all around. They do a great job. And I do love Smashing Pumpkins, too. Disarm is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, it's so good.
I love it. And I love Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I think it's an amazing album. And I'm torn, guys. I really am torn on this.
Natalie Imbruglia?
Yes,
Well,
I'm all out of shape.
I know you love They Might Be Giants. They're
This
your
is how
favorite
I
band. Can you educate me? Throughout the 90s, were their albums influential? Like They Might Be Giants? Because with Smashing Pumpkins, they had Gish early on.
Right.
What was the album with Today and Disarm?
That was Siamese Dream.
Siamese Dream, Melancholy, Infinite Sadness. And then they had Ava Adore. Adore.
A lot of albums.
A lot of albums, all great.
Yes.
So I only know of the one. I know Flood, basically.
Well, see, and in the 90s, They Might Be Giants had Flood, they had Apollo 18, they had John Henry, they had Factory Showroom, and they had Long Tall Weekend. I didn't own Long Tall Weekend because it's kind of a B-sides one, but I owned all the other ones, and I could sing a song from each one of those on there. In fact, I can sing the album Flood, and I have done this from beginning to end from memory.
You did it on our last episode. That's
No.
why it was 2 hours long.
But They Might Be Giants, like Apollo 18 had a very cool experimental track where they took 21 different tracks, under 30 seconds each, and kind of put them as separate tracks on the CD.
Is that Fingertips?
That's Fingertips.
Yeah, I love
And
Fingertips.
Death, and it's all about birth.
That's a great road trip
birth
song.
to death to life. It's great.
When
love
I was
it.
11, Fingertips was my jam.
And then they also had
That's a great quote out of context.
on Factory Showroom, they had one of those hidden tracks where you go to the first track and rewind, and you get the hidden track from Tokenback of Brooklyn.
Nice.
Like they were trying different things, and I really appreciated that. But I'm having a big struggle on this one, guys.
You have to go first.
I have to go first?
Yes.
Because I
Let
love
the record show Joel just made a pouty face.
I did. Because I will say this. I am happy that They Might Be Giants went one round.
You're not going to push them to the third?
I know how much I love They Might Be Giants because I am a deep thinker, creative person. Unlike all those other slack-jawed yokels out there who don't like them. But I do understand that we need to go more influence, and so I'm going to say Smashing Pumpkins.
Unbelievable.
And I didn't know into this conversation. Walking this conversation, I didn't know what I was going to say.
As a wild card, I truly want to root for They Might Be Giants. In fact, I want to vote for them just to spite everyone who's listening right now.
Just because you want Hopper to win, yeah.
But it's the Hopper fixation for me.
I hate that
But then I'm
comparison.
worried if I do They Might Be Giants, Jake will then say They Might Be Giants and they'll move on. So I can't even flirt with that. It's Smashing Pumpkins all the way. It's my first concert. I'll never forget them.
You know, the thing is, too, I think maybe you and I both were kind of doing an anti-Oasis vote.
Yes.
As
We
much.
were,
You know,
absolutely.
So Joel was really voting with his heart. I was just voting against Oasis.
I love Birdhouse in Your Soul.
And yeah,
I would put
They Might Be Giants.
Birdhouse in Your Soul against any Oasis song.
I would too. Honestly, and the problem was Oasis is very 90s, and I understand why people were mad about that. But the truth is, they're not a great band, and They Might Be Giants is.
all right.
Smashing Pumpkins for
Smashing
the sweep.
Pumpkins.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm happy they went one round.
Next matchup is Hootie and the Blowfish versus Cake.
Jacob, I think you got to go first on this one.
Cake.
Is that easy?
Yeah.
We talked about how many albums Hootie and the
Hootie and the
Blowfish sold.
Blowfish
Over
sold
21
and
million
sold
in the
and
US.
Sold. What was the name of that album that sold like crazy?
Cracked a Rearview Mirror.
Oh my gosh, that thing got played so much until my ears bled.
It is the
Right?
16th best-selling album of all time in the United States.
So what makes you choose Cake?
They're just cool, right? Like, I mean, I realize that they have some bad reputation for experiences live and
Right.
things like that, but my goodness, I mean, you take such a bizarre, like for me, this is my They Might Be Giants, right? And I think it's a lot of people's They Might Be Giants.
Cake is your They Might Be Giants?
because they take Fashion Nugget and
Which is great from beginning to end.
it is phenomenal, right? I'm listening to Frank Sinatra, and I will
Friend is a
survive.
four-letter word. Daria.
Daria.
Daria is so
oh my gosh,
good.
I love
That
Daria.
was the worst MTV cartoon.
Stick shifts and safety belts.
Great.
You know, I mean, like I adored that album, and I think a lot of teenagers did, and it kind of defines the '90s in a lot of way. And I mean, The Distance. I mean, I still hear that on the radio.
Yeah.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping and thumping in time. Such a good song.
I should have opened with that, huh? Anyway, so
Why is Scuttle here?
It did sound like Scuttle. Sha-la-la-la-la.
That's 89. That's 89. 89.
We have R.E.M. in here. We might as well. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm done. Yeah, Cake wins. Hootie is. I obviously deserve a tip of the hat. Like, that's what they deserve. But I don't feel like their legacy is very strong.
I'm going to go with Cake. Hootie and the Blowfish is more adult contemporary than alternative. I feel Cake is more alternative. Even though Hootie had the bigger album sales, I think they're more adult contemporary. That's why I'm voting for Cake.
For the 237 times I listened to Fashion Nugget,
Yeah.
it's Cake.
Yeah.
Cake for the sweep.
I feel sad, guys. I feel like you should hold my hand.
Only want to be with you. I don't know.
You just have a stroke.
It's Eddie Vedder. Hootie Eddie Vedder.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all
All right, for the next matchup, we're going to have the Counting Crows versus Garbage.
Oh, this second round sucks so bad.
It's only going to get worse, though.
It is just going to get worse.
All
We're
right, who's
just gonna
starting
be
this one? Am I starting this one?
I'm starting this one.
Picking between our darlings.
Oh my gosh. I know how much Joel loves Shirley Manson. For that reason alone, I want to vote for Garbage because they were fun. Their videos were fun. Their music was diverse.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Counting Crows. It's that first album. Honestly, I'm a really big fan of Recovering the Satellites, their second one, if that was their second one.
It was their second one.
And more ballads, and that's kind of what spoke to me more in the late 90s.
That's because they added an additional band member, and so they
Is
were
that it?
They were a 3-person band, and so
Really?
they got a fourth for that album, and so yeah, their sound kind of the ballad really amped it up, and it was a louder sound.
As many times as Mr. Jones was played on the radio, and you know I hate radio singles.
You do?
I'll still listen to that and enjoy it, even
Really?
though I should hate it.
Okay.
You should.
So, Counting Crows.
All right, I'll go next. This is a hard one for me because, as you know, my wife is a huge Counting Crows fan, and I am a huge Garbage fan. And it's not just because of Shirley Manson either. Like
So who do you love more, yourself or your wife?
Don't put it like that. I'm separating myself. But here's, okay, I get to separate it because here's the thing. My wife likes hard candy, which did not come out in the 90s.
That's like grandma food.
What was that, 2002?
Yeah, that's in the 2000s. So I can easily say that this is garbage's for me. I vote garbage. I think they are much more alternative. I think they are much more raw. I think they're much more 90s because I like 2000s Counting Crows better than I ever liked Counting Crows in the 90s.
Man, they had August Everything After, Recovering the Satellites, and
This
then
Desert Life.
This Desert Life was 99, I think.
And Garbage just had the two. They had Garbage and then version 2.0, but both of those albums I owned and enjoyed and listened to on repeat. Garbage for me.
I once was on a road trip, and there was this thing I was craving. I couldn't quite decide what it was. And
Garbage.
And I put in...
Garbage?
I put in garbage, literal garbage, because I've been eating Nutri-Grain bars.
Yep.
So I stuck the
Healthy, gross.
Well, I put in August and Everything After, which is the debut album for Counting Crows, and I listened to it 3 times in a row. And this is after I'd had the album for 10 years. And I thought, holy cow, I love this band that much. Counting Crows.
Counting Crows for the win.
So sorry, Shirley. Please forgive me. Unforgive Kent for a stupid decision.
I want something beautiful. Man, I wish I
All right, fellas, next match is going to get ugly.
Good lead in.
We have Green Day versus Foo Fighters.
Oh my gosh.
Two great, punk, pop, rock type bands.
And very different bands as well.
Yes.
They have a very, very different feel, but they're both iconic. They both sold tons of albums, and everybody likes both of them, really, to some degree.
This is tough because I do like Foo Fighters. I some of their songs, I love Everlong. I love that song. I listen. That's one of my pump up songs.
Yeah, you bore your testimony of Everlong in the last
pretty sure,
episode.
guys. I want to say this, and please don't be shocked. But when I listen to Everlong, it makes me want to work out.
What?
Whoa.
You hate exercise.
I do. But when I listen to Everlong, I want to work out.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's such a good song. It's not.
Wait, do you ever work out?
I played ping pong the other day.
Okay. And you sweat a lot.
What? That's Jacob. and Foo Fighters really is. I think it's amazing. And this sounds so insensitive, but I think the best thing to come from the dissolution of Nirvana is Foo Fighters formation. Because Foo Fighters is a great band. He recorded that whole first album by himself. That was him playing all the instruments and singing, doing everything by himself. And I think it's amazing. But Green Day is the more 90s alternative. And I'm going to vote for Green Day.
I'm going to go next.
Hold on.
Yes.
Can I go next?
Yeah, it's him next, isn't it?
Yeah, go for it.
We should probably go in some sort of order.
No. We'd just be random. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, here's why, right? Is because I'm going to have the counter vote to Joel, and then it'll be up to you.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. And I didn't know which one you were going to say, so I thought anyway. So, as I've already let in, Foo Fighters. I would take Everlong, Joel, over every Green Day song. If I had to pick one to continue to exist on the earth, and if I lost Everlong or lost every Green Day song, that would be hard, but I would choose to keep Everlong. I think Foo Fighters is...
By the way, fun fact about Everlong.
Yeah.
It was written when Dave Grohl fell in love with Louise Post from Veruca Salt.
Really?
So it's another 90s band.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
And they got knocked out in the first round.
They
So
did.
sorry.
We left them right there. So Jacob's Foo Fighters.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Everlong is a love song, right? I didn't know that until the research here. I guess I could have guessed that to some degree, but I didn't really know.
Never think it'd ever be this real forever.
Also, thing I discovered, apparently the song Hero has nothing to do with Kurt Cobain, and that's just a nasty rumor.
That's a folklore. And also people got mad that the first album of Foo Fighters had a gun on the cover, and it was like a space blaster from Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
People get so sensitive.
Look, here's the thing about Green Day, too, is Green Day has albums like Dookie, right? Really famous album and really influential. However, Dookie, did you catch this in your research? Here's how they name their album, right?
Oh, don't get into that. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
But they're 90s. They're punk. They're supposed to be irreverent.
It's just, it's gross.
But
It
Jacob,
wasn't an easy sell to be like, hey, Mom, can I borrow some money to go buy a CD? Yeah, which band? They're called Green Day. I think they're environmentalists. Oh, okay. Their album's called Dookie.
All right. I'm going to stop there. Foo Fighters all the way. Kent, I hope you vote wisely.
I can play Green Day songs on the guitar, and I like to because it's fun, and it's easy, and it's 3 chords. The Color and the Shape is a near perfect album, and that's just it. I don't even like their hits very much. I don't really like My Hero.
Yeah.
I will watch their music videos, and that's what I think Foo Fighters kind of has the edge for.
I love
their
the
music
Everlong
videos.
music
Like
video.
for Big Me was with the Mentos
Yes.
parody.
Yeah.
It's great. It's Foo Fighters.
No.
Yes! Yes!
You cannot knock down Green
Yes!
Day.
Yeah.
I pulled so many people, Kent. So many people. And the names that kept coming up were Green Day,
Yep.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Weezer. Like, those were the names.
Here's the trouble. This could have
What
been...
is what is the most 90s TV show of all? What is the most 90s TV show?
Seinfeld.
What was the final song on Seinfeld? Good
was
riddance.
Monkey
I
Wrench.
hope you have the time of your life.
It was Monkey Wrench.
Monkey Wrench for sure.
Guys, Green Day.
Good riddance. I'm sorry. That's like every high school graduation video.
Because it's the 90s.
Because it's so corny.
You know you had it in the 90s. You had it in the 90s. This is
Hey,
ridiculous.
This is something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right.
You are foolish. Both of
you had
you
the
are
time of your
foolish.
life.
You're foolish, both of you.
You really thought I was going to just Green Day?
Because they're more 90s. I thought you could separate your brain from a minute.
Tacky. All the way tacky.
They are
No.
so tacky.
They're 90s.
Oh, Green Day, I have never connected with them emotionally at any point through any song in their whole career.
Idiots.
Next matchup is going to be Alanis Morissette versus Joel's favorite band, a second favorite band, the Bare Naked Ladies.
Which, by the way, I found out in my research that on every album, Bare Naked Ladies records one of their songs in the studio naked. And they actually list which one it is, and like the Wikipedia talks about it.
That's weird.
Which is ironic because we're here right now.
In your tidy whities.
Yes. That was the last show.
that was the bacon bit. All right, Jacob, you're first in this one, I think.
I'm first on this one. So, I mean, Alanis, obviously, I mean, The Jagged Little Pill is one of the most iconic 90s albums ever. In fact, that's pretty much a perfect album. That one's remarkable.
We actually discovered some of her older work, and it is
We'll get there.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
We can do that later?
Yeah, we can talk about it
we
later.
can talk about it.
If she makes it.
So, Bare Naked Ladies, I mean, yeah, if I had $1 million, that's a lot of fun. 1 week, I mean, that was one of the most played songs of the 90s. I really like, and I think we discussed this, I don't remember if it was on or off air, Joel, but like their earlier album, I don't remember the name of it, with Brian Wilson. Gordon, yeah. I mean, like, that's before they were cool to any degree. If they were ever really cool, I don't know. But
They're cool.
They're cool. This is neck and neck for me. I'm going to go Alanis.
Does that mean it's me next? No,
Yeah,
no,
go,
because
Joel.
you had decided last time.
Go, Joel. I'm
No,
still
you got
not decided. I'm not decided.
I'm not decided either. You got to go because I'm gonna mess you guys up.
When so the other day I actually wrote down the
You're
picks,
not voting for Bare Naked Ladies. Just
the
admit
picks that I wanted to go through, and I chose Alanis Morissette.
Right.
And then you showed me 2 music videos from early 90s Alanis Morissette when she was just known as Alanis.
When she was, quote, the Debbie Gibson of Canada.
And it destroyed everything for me. Because I know Alanis Morissette, and yes, she went lighter, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know her from You Ought to Know, where she's sitting there and her hair's in her face and she's rocking out. Whereas 2 years before,
That song's crazy.
she was singing this pop, distorted pop.
Yes.
And it's super weird and Canadian.
Yeah.
And it really kind of destroyed my perception of Alanis Morissette. I saw her more as a product of other people writing songs for her rather than
Well, she's
her
the
being
songwriter,
angry.
though, right?
Maybe. I don't
No,
even
she's
know
the song-
anymore.
she's the
No, she wrote
songwriter.
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Bare Naked Ladies.
What?
Why?
That changed everything
I
for
feel
me.
like you're just being like just
I'm being generous. Do you want me to go with my true pick or
go with your true pick. Go with your heart.
I just feel bad for Bare Naked Ladies.
No, don't.
I love saying that. Okay, Alanis Morissette. If I'm
Okay.
going with my real heart here.
I was going to say we could smell the BS all over you, Kent. And the truth is, I like Bare Naked Ladies more than I like Alanis Morissette. That's not anything I'm ashamed of because I am open-minded.
Well, nor should you be, because, I mean, I probably listen to more Bare Naked Ladies now than I do Alanis.
Well, and I was one of those people that
Presently.
when they got to be big with 1 week, I was like, ugh, everyone likes Bare Naked Ladies now. I liked them before they were cool.
Yeah, hipster Joel.
And I will say, Alanis Morissette does have the 12th best-selling album of all time. She is the highest of any other band we put on here. And as much as I like Bare Naked Ladies, and as much as I feel like they are I prefer to listen to them than Alanis Morissette. The truth is, I don't feel like they're 90s. Like, I can listen to them now, and it sounds just as good.
You're right.
So just as enjoyable. It's kind of timeless. Whereas Alanis Morissette, you hear just the opening few bars of You Ought to Know, and it's like, whoa, I'm back mowing lawns on the baseball diamond, things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it to Alanis Morissette.
you wouldn't let me pick BNL.
No, because I want you to be real.
Okay.
And I'm here to remind
right, next round is Red Hot Chili Peppers versus Soundgarden.
Unbelievable.
So Chris Cornell is up against whatever that guy's name
Anthony
is.
Kiedis. And
I'll go
Flea.
first.
Yeah.
Soundgarden.
Oh, this is so hard.
I'll go first because I'll say Soundgarden because Soundgarden was one of those albums that my friend owned that we thought was amazing that I listened to Fell on Black Days, Black Hole Sun, Spoon Man, and just it feels so nice.
You
Chris
even
Cornell's
love
voice.
Roller Coaster, and not a lot of people love. Not
I love-
true fans.
yeah.
They don't even like that
Oh,
song.
I like that one a
song.
lot. But Red Hot Chili Peppers, I enjoy them, but I don't know. I have to go with the more 90s feel, and Soundgarden is more 90s to me. I do think it's funny, though, that like Smashing Pumpkins toured with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yep.
Excuse me. As did Pearl Jam and Nirvana. But apparently when Smashing Pumpkins' Billy Corgan refused to play with Nirvana as he once dated frontman Kurt Cobain's wife, Courtney Love.
Ew.
Yeah, it's a weird matchup.
I'm going to give this one to Red Hot Chili Peppers strictly because I love Breaking the Girl so much.
Wow, that sounds...
Wow.
That's abusive. Ken.
It does sound abusive, but it's Red Hot Chili
We're going to
Peppers.
have you see someone after this.
Right, Dr. Matt. But also, Californication came right at the tail end of 99, and I know that's considered more of a 2000s album, but if we're looking at like the hits, that one had like 7 hits on that album.
Yeah.
And I guess I'd consider more a 2000 hits.
By the way, do you know where they recorded Blood, Sex, Sugar Magic?
Where?
Harry Houdini's mansion.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And that is a great album, one of the best of the 90s. For me, it's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No surprise there. Jacob?
Well, all right. Here's where I'm split, just really fast. Soundgarden, I think, does have more of a 90s feel. They feel more 90s iconic to me. They're definitely more grunge.
it's more that angsty kind of thing, too.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
But lasting more than one album. I like Down on the Upside,
this is the trouble.
but it's just okay.
Yeah, Fell on Black Days and Black Hole Sun and Spoon Man. It's
kinda where it ends.
This is it. That's Soundgarden. And
Yeah,
that's,
and Red Hot Chili Peppers, they had hits in the 80s and the 2000s. And
We're going to get there with R.E.M. Don't you worry.
they did. They did. And honestly, I don't like Californication. Like, I get weary of that. I like their earlier stuff better. I don't listen to them a lot, but...
Can I bring up one thing real quick?
Yeah.
So as I was doing my research on this, and I was like, I was looking up the albums, and I looked up One Hot Minute, where they have Aeroplane, and I was like, I love the Aeroplane. I love Aeroplane. I listened to it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like it as much as I used to. And so it just kind of proved to me that I was like, yeah, I'm kind of over Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
How does that melody go for Aeroplane? I like sugar spiked
It's
with-
my aeroplane.
Yeah.
It's my aeroplane.
Pleasure spiked with pain.
Kent, I can see you're looking a little nervous over there about my choice, but it's going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And I feel bad, but like I said, Chris Cornell, I think got better as time went on.
Yeah, let's just vote for Kent's favorites instead of the ones that should win.
Vote with your heart.
When I said I didn't like Californication, I saw you like go, oh crap.
I shriveled away.
Whoa.
My friends are so distant. They'll stand in
All right, next round is going to be Cranberries versus the Gin Blossoms.
All right, Kent, go for it.
Cranberries.
Is it that easy?
For me,
is
it is.
it that
no,
easy?
look,
though?
I came to Gin Blossom's side on the last one when they went against Sugar Ray, but that was easy.
I was happy with that choice.
For this one, I think Cranberries are so 90s. And I remember making a tape and recording Zombie off of the radio, even getting the DJ at the beginning and end of the song, and being fine because I got a copy of Zombie on a tape. It's Cranberries all the way.
Well, so I have this recording of me, and it's on cassette tape really long ago, and I'm singing Hey Jealousy. And it's because, as I go in the tape, and this is a dumb story, but it's one of those that just came to mind when I thought about this, is I'm like, tomorrow we can drive around this town, let the cops chase us around. I don't like this song, but it's on the radio. Hey Jealousy. And that's how I feel. And then today, as I was doing my research, I suddenly ran across Salvation from the Cranberries album, No Need to Argue. Was that on that one? Or The Faithful Departed? I don't remember which one. But I heard it, and it just made me happy. And I realized the Cranberries are taking this one.
I want to vote Gin Blossoms just because I listened to them more. I really liked them. But if I'm going to be real honest here, Cranberries are better bands. They have a better legacy. They made really unique, cool, lasting music. And even to this day, they haven't really been replicated.
No.
And that really kind of gives them this shining star of, this 90s stardom that they deserved. Cranberries.
Perfect.
Next round is going to be Pearl Jam versus Candlebox.
Pearl Jam.
I didn't even finish the name.
No, Candlebox didn't deserve to advance in the first place. I talked to
They
multiple people.
definitely deserved it.
I talked to multiple people, and almost every single group I talked to,
to multiple people.
almost all those people.
Let me hear you. In every group I talked to, there was one person who was like, "Who's Candlebox?" Every time. And I had to be like, oh, they sang that song Far Behind.
Once again,
And they go,
it was an
"What's that?"
anti-Goo Goo Dolls vote.
And
for
then
me.
I would hold up the phone and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that song. But I'm giving this to Pearl Jam. Come on.
You can't go against Pearl Jam. It's Pearl Jam.
You know, I did not give it an anti-Goo Goo Dolls vote.
I did.
I really like Candlebox. And in fact, even after our last show, I went and listened to a whole bunch of tracks of them, and I was like, I made the right decision here. Go listen. Change, Blossom, You, Far Behind.
Yeah. High five for Blossom.
But yeah, it obviously will have to go to Pearl Jam. This is Pearl Jam we're talking about compared to them.
I don't wanna take what you can give. I'd rather stop and eat your
All right, next round is going to be difficult. Weezer versus Blink-182.
Difficult for some.
Difficult for some.
Although, if my little brother were here, in fact, I asked him this very question because those are his two favorite bands. He made a decision very quickly.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, I grew up with one of my good friends who's most definitely not listening to this show because he's back in Missouri, and
They don't have electricity.
and
You know that anyone can listen to this show, right?
he may not even know what a podcast is. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know. You know, hi Adam, and
Listening to Munspringa.
he adored Blink-182. He was kind of obsessed with them. In fact, it was to a point where it actually kind of turned me off after a while. Even though, anyway, voting with my heart, it's an easier pick. If I'm going to be strict with like some sort of objective view, it would lean 182, honestly. But
What?
But I don't like 182. So Weezer for me.
All right.
It's Weezer, man.
It's a Weezer.
Easily.
It's a Weezer sweep.
Yeah.
Weezer sweep.
Blink-182, I feel like they had some good songs in the 90s, but I think they had some maybe better songs in the 2000s. So I'm gonna go with Weezer.
I liked early Blink-182 when I was thinking I was a cool punk and I had a wallet with a chain, which I still
You still have that.
No, it got stolen. I got a new one.
You got your wallet stolen again? Oh, that yeah.
Yeah. But it's Weezer.
You know what's really cool about this? Both Weezer and Blink-182 are still on the radio right now with recent tracks. And
It's
they're doing
true.
well. They're
some
charting.
with less band members than others, but yes.
Yes.
I mean, we got King of the World, and Blink's got 2 out just from that last album.
Yeah, from California. It's a
and
good
I will
album.
say, in regard to influence, or like worldwide influence, I heard All the Small Things when I was in Portugal, like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was big over there. And that was one of the things I was like, oh, this is an American band. That's so cool. But Weezer's the better all 90s alternative band.
That means Blink is gone. Wow. Okay.
Good riddance. That's the song Green Day that defined the 90s.
I asked you to go to the Green Day concert. You said you never heard of them.
All right, the next match is going to be Collective Soul versus R.E.M. Who's going first on this one?
I'll go. R.E.M. has Shiny Happy People and Losing My Religion. Losing My Religion, once again, I'll say, is one of the great songs in the 90s.
Yep.
But I didn't really care for anything after. I didn't like Monster, the album.
You like Everybody Hurts?
It wasn't that an 80s one?
No, that's 91.
Was it 91?
Yeah.
That was a song of every junior high dance.
Well, you know, Good Riddance was the song of every junior high farewell, and yet you didn't give it to them.
Every junior
so-
high assembly, every high school assembly, which I didn't go to.
Yeah, I'd rather not relive that
That's
anyway.
your fault.
Man, the band that is way more 90s to me is Collective Soul. I have to go with Collective Soul on this one.
Jacob, do you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
Go ahead.
Because this is a hard one for me. Because when I was looking up R.E.M., I was like, well, you know, they're from all different eras, and I looked up the stuff that was not from the 90s, and it's like Radio Free Europe, The One I Love, End of the World, Stand, and Orange Crush, which are good songs. But then
Great
when I look at the ones
songs.
from the 90s, that's when you get like, you know, What's the Frequency, Kenneth, and Crush with Eyeliner, and Lose My Religion, and the one you just said, I just forgot, Everybody Hurts, Shiny Happy People, Man on the Moon. It's tough. But one of the first albums I ever bought, which will always remind me of the 90s, is Collective Soul, self-titled. Therefore, I vote Collective Soul.
There you go. Jake?
The World I Know, Shine, Precious Declaration, Gel, Heavy. So many good songs.
So many good songs. I went and watched Collective Soul just like a year or 2 ago. Mm-hmm. Loved it. Like, I mean, like I had that album, that one that Joel just referred to, the self-titled, when I was 14 and adored it and still listen to them. I have acoustic versions by them. You know, they don't have like this sort of punch or influence that a lot of these other bands do. But my goodness, I can just keep listening
There's
to them
almost
forever.
no hook with Collective Soul.
Right.
But they just have like a complete collection, which
Yeah.
is great.
It's just a good sound to them. And the truth is, R.E.M. is so influential. Like almost every band that we talk about said R.E.M. was an influence on them, which also kind of pulls them away from the 90s to me. So
That's true.
I love how we give these consolation prizes to the
Yeah.
losers. We're like, you guys are still great.
I like how Kent's wild card is the only one that's still advancing.
It's not a wild card.
R.E.M. That was the wild card, Jacob.
Oh, it's not advancing though.
No, I'm saying his is the only one with Red Hot Chili Peppers
Oh, Chili
Let's move
Peppers.
on.
and not Green Day.
All right, Collective Soul.
Precious declaration, yours is yours, mine leave alone now.
All right, next round is going to be live versus the Dave Matthews Band.
This is a tough one for me because I really do like Dave Matthews Band. I'm not ashamed. I like him. And live is really 90s to me.
They are very 90s.
And they're both very successful too. Dave Matthews has had a longer career. They're probably more successful. You know, live. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to go for live.
Oh, that's a big surprise.
That's a huge surprise.
And I'm doing it because I really didn't come to appreciate Dave Matthews Band enough until I was back from my mission, so it was in the 2000s. That's when I kind of learned a lot more of his songs. Got a roommate
And
who
was it a
loved
few
him.
select tracks so that you
I mean, I knew like
didn't really
you know,
care for the radio hits, it seems like?
No, I knew the radio hits, and I liked them okay, but it really was when I got back that I started to appreciate them more, and so it doesn't feel as 90s to me. But the truth is, it's a successful band, but live is 90s alternative. That is what I feel 90s alternative to be. And if I didn't vote for live, my brother would get mad at me because I knocked out Rage Against the Machine against live. And
I love
Dave
how
Matthews-
you have multiple brothers who will get angry at this show.
they're
at
all
some
getting
point.
mad at me, but
No matter what you pick.
But I'm voting for live.
Jake?
I would vote live just for Throwing Copper alone.
And they have a lot more, too,
And they
in
have a
the
lot
90s.
more. They have a lot more. I had the next one as well. Although I
Secret Samadhi.
That's right. Yeah. And
I can never say that right.
I was like Secret
Samadhi.
Like it can't be Samurai. That's not it.
Secret Samurai is
Trying to
Secret
remember that black cover, that black album cover. And yeah.
That's a Semisonic song, actually.
What?
Secret Samurai.
Secret Samurai?
Semisonic.
That's not semi.
Nobody knows
I know.
it, but you got a Secret Samurai.
Oh man. Oh, that's rough though because Dave Matthews Band. Dang it, that was hard.
I remember listening. I can't remember the track, but the
Ken has to
first
vote.
track.
Oh, it's live. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's
Let's be
live.
honest.
It's live.
That first track on live. Did you guys listen to Throwing Copper a lot? That album.
Yes.
You remember that first one? Like it starts with like the rain. And it's like thunder, and then like the rain
And
comes
the
down.
thunder rolls.
This is not that.
and the
episode.
lightning strikes.
What's that called? What was the town called?
Yes.
The lady that
was a town.
Wanna live, wanna live, wanna live.
Water. What was that?
I feel like we need to move on.
Oh, I remember.
Is it a swear word?
Yes, it is a swear word.
It is.
Let's move on.
Are you ready for the next matchup?
It's going to be a tough one.
Ready?
No Doubt versus Presidents of the United States.
What, now, who,
Look, I've thought about this a lot.
Who did President of the United States win against?
If they can win against Third Eye Blind, I
Third
think
Eye
they
Blind.
should definitely win against No Doubt. So I'm totally going to
Third
vote
Eye
for
Blind and No
Presidents.
Doubt would actually be a great matchup.
They would.
Yeah. And I listened to a couple of President of the United States songs today as I was getting ready for this. And they're still fun. They're still a lot of fun.
I listened, Kent, in your honor, basically, for, trading or betraying all of us. The whole self-titled Third Eye Blind album. It is great.
Is it great?
It's great.
They're gone, Jacob. We need to move fast.
Look, I'm not even kidding around. Like 15 tracks, and I was blown away. I forgot how good this album was. All right. So No Doubt versus Presidents. Who's going first?
You.
All right, No Doubt.
There's no doubt as presidents.
Oh, man, I want to be the antagonist so much, but I'm going to lose, so I'm going to have to say No Doubt.
Might as well sweep it.
So here's the thing. The third single, Don't Speak, was maintain the position of at the number one of Billboard 100 for 16 consecutive weeks, a record at the time. Although it was broken in 1998 by the Goo Goo Dolls with Iris in 18 weeks.
Probably
Still bugged with them.
probably broken by Semi-Charmed Life, honestly.
It's No Doubt.
Is that your ringtone?
It's No Doubt. I was actually very surprised to see President of the United States go one more round. Kent was being the antagonist there, but yeah, it's definitely No Doubt.
Yep. All right, guys, next round is two of my favorite 90s bands. The Offspring and Bush.
Oh, it's Sophie's choice.
I mean, really.
It's Sophie's choice.
These
Okay.
are two of my very favorites.
Mine too.
One of the ugliest singers of the 90s and one of the most attractive male singers of the 90s.
Well, if you want to judge it that way, sure.
I think we should in this one.
Is that what those posters are in your bedroom? I didn't realize.
Gavin Rossdale.
Guys, I haven't decided on this one. I've gone back and forth all day.
I haven't
it's been
either.
so hard.
I haven't either.
Because, I mean, you look at Bush, and they had one really good album of 16 Stone. And when I say really good, I mean almost every track is
Yeah.
good. And then you have Offspring.
Well, hold on. They have more albums that are good, though.
I didn't-
Razorblade Suitcase.
Razorblade Suitcase.
Science of
I didn't like
Things.
that as much. Oh, by the way, can I just say something funny about this?
Swallowed
in my
Mouth
research,
and-
almost
good.
every
Yeah.
single. I just want to say this. Can you guys guess this band? So their first album, well, their first major successful album was a huge success, and everyone loved them. Their second album took on a little more of a darker tone and didn't achieve commercial success as much as the first one. Well, most of the songs in the album deal with the singers dealing with their fame.
Every 90s.
Every 90s
I was going to say
band.
Weezer, but then I'm like, oh, wait. It's everyone.
It's everyone. And like Bush did the same thing when they came back with Razorblade Suitcase. It was a darker tone.
That's Counting Crows as well, actually.
Yeah, no,
Which
it's
is
every
different
band.
genre.
And everyone committed suicide and everyone did a drug overdose.
oh, man.
90s.
That's why we don't hear from these guys anymore.
Yes. Dark
But then you have
Tone.
the Offspring, and they had Smash, which was their first big one, Ixnay on the Hombre, and Americana. Oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
Ooh, those second two albums.
Ken, I think you should go first because I think you have.
You're going to know, right?
No,
For me, it's-
I think Jacob and I have the hardest time here.
For me, it is Bush. I think there is the depth there. They never went tacky. Granted, they're not really around anymore. I did listen to their new album. It's just okay at best. But in the 90s, they killed it.
You listened to the one just that
I did,
released
actually.
last month?
I downloaded
Yeah,
it.
I listened to it too.
I got 16 Stone for Christmas, and I was stoked. From Blockbuster Music, 16 Stone.
Yeah.
I played Glycerine nonstop.
Which has a dog on the cover, in case you didn't know.
What?
It's a dog. It's not
That's
a
a
mop.
dog?
It's not a mop or anything like that. It's a dog.
I'm so confused.
You should go look at the picture.
Really?
Okay.
That makes me want
Yeah.
to pull up the picture.
Yeah. If you Google the picture of 16 Stone, you'll see the dog. It's like a mop-looking dog, but it's jumping in the air.
And then, honestly, Razorblade Suitcase was kind of perfect for me because that's when I got more moody. And so that album kind of fit me better. And I really appreciate that.
Jacob, is it you or me next?
All is lost, Joel. All is lost. This album, I mean, yeah, Smash, Little Things, and Throwing Copper. I mean, like those albums. I mean, those were on repeat all the time.
Throwing Copper was live.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying,
Okay.
like,
Oh,
it's,
yeah, I
it's
get you.
that, it's that sort of that field. Man, Joel, can you go yet?
No. This hurts. This hurts because you have to realize, Come Down, I remember being the first song I listened to when I drove to high school for the first time. I didn't drive, when I was being driven to the high school for the first time. And I remember sitting in Dan Tansmeyer's living room listening to Offspring and all just kind of, I don't know, moshing to it as much as you can with like 4 teenage boys. Oh, it's so tough. This really is probably the toughest one I'm going to have this whole time. Like, honestly, this is my final matchup. This is probably what it would be.
Really?
It's just these are two bands that I really enjoyed back then.
I mean, if I still love Self Esteem. I still love Gone Away from Offspring. Like, I still listen to those. Those are still in the main playlist. For Bush, Little Things, Come Down,
Jacob, do you want to?
Machine Head.
You got to do something.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
You ever played along with that?
What do you mean?
You breathe in when they say breathe in. You breathe out
I'm
when they
sure
say
I
breathe
did
out.
when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, we did that. We
But then
played
you have to hold your breath
And then
during the entire
yeah.
verse.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, it was hard. All right, I'm going Bush for one reason here. This is the tipping point for me.
Okay.
It's Glycerine.
I love Glycerine. That was
Glycerine is a masterpiece.
I called that my sacred song, and it was like I dedicated it to girls I liked, but not till them.
What's it about?
So Bad Moon, White Again. You know that part where he like
Is it
mumbles
really
something?
Bad
Moon white again.
I have a friend that
Yeah.
thought it said Bamboo Wise Guys.
Blue corn white again.
His my friend goes, Bamboo Wise Guys. And I'm like, what are these, like panda mobsters? What are you talking
It took
about?
me a long time to figure that out, actually, and it was very satisfying. I mean, and what is it like? There's like a cello in that song, and I mean
Yes,
that
it's so
song.
good.
And the fade out.
Oh, it's so good.
Gosh, that song. That's what pushes it over for Bush for me. Glycerine. Thank
Wow.
you for writing that song.
So Bush wins. So I can give my vote to Offspring and feel good,
Yeah.
and not have to.
you can.
Because the truth
You
is,
can.
I went on strict hard numbers here.
That would hurt.
It did, and Offspring outsold them because they had more successful albums. And I actually counted up the number of songs I liked on 16 Stone versus the number of songs I liked on the Offspring's 3 albums that I really enjoyed. And Offspring had a little bit of an edge there. So I'll vote for them just to feel warm and fuzzy inside, but I could have gone either way.
All right, next matchup. 311 versus Everclear. Also known as Who Cares?
Hey,
Joel, you're first.
take it easy.
Compared to the last one, I mean, that's all I'm saying.
No, yeah, it is. And this one is kind of easier for me. As much I did own 311's album. I love "Don't Stay Home." That is my favorite 311 song.
It's so good.
I love that one. But the truth is, I liked more Everclear songs. I saw them in concert, and they were impressive. I feel like they have a much more 90s feel to them.
More 90s than 311.
Yep. Because I will admit, 311 and Sublime were kind of those same type of sound
don't
to me.
associate
Yeah, that's a
them.
strange association.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like they were somehow connected in my head, and I had a friend who listened to a lot of 311.
Because your stoner friends would listen to both bands.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm giving this one to Everclear.
Honestly, I know you're saying who cares. This for me was the last round for you guys.
Really?
I love both these bands. These are two of my favorites. These would be in the final four.
Wow.
I
That's crazy stuff.
love 311. I had a 311 wife beater that I wore all the time. Oh man. I can't even decide.
Just know this. Whatever you vote, I'm going against you. I'm just kidding. You look.
Who are you,
mad.
Kent?
He looks kind of mad there.
Sound system. A beautiful disaster. We have Prisoner. Oh man.
You know what I found out, by the way?
Beyond they're self-titled.
Guess what I found out? Amber, not a 90s song.
No, it's not.
2001. Last
Yes.
show I said Amber, and I kicked myself when I found out.
I can't go against Art Alexis and his suffering lyrics. It has to be Everclear.
All right.
Would you say the same?
Sure. Everclear.
The apathy is strong with this one.
All right. Next matchup is the Cardigans. We're talking about the Sweaters and Matchbox 20.
Which, by the way, once again, Cardigans should have been on the One Hit Wonders bracket. They do not belong in this bracket.
Yeah, but did you want Korn to proceed? We didn't.
No, we could have put like Spin Doctors on here or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
we didn't.
They had more hits.
We're
than
neither here
Cardigans.
nor there, Joel.
Days of the New. They should have been there.
I gotta give it to Matchbox 20 strictly out of principle because Cardigans doesn't belong there.
You want to vote for Cardigans, don't you, Kent?
I do, but I'm not going to.
Really?
I hate Matchbox 20, but I'm going to give it to Matchbox 20.
Yeah, me too.
All
All right, guys. We finished the first jiggity.
Yay, the first jiggity.
Technical
I don't know
terms.
what you call it here, but
We
yeah.
have a lot more show to
Yeah,
go
it's
through,
not
but I think
bracketing.
we are to the Sweet 16.
Yes.
And it's going
Yep,
to be
we
tough,
are.
but I think we're going to fly a little bit more through these.
We hope you're playing along with us.
That's unlikely.
It's very
going to be
unlikely.
painful. Everyone's
it's
going to be painful.
it's gonna be
now.
painful, but I think we could do it.
Are we ready for the first matchup here?
Yes.
Of the Sweet 16? Nirvana versus Smashing Pumpkins.
Unbelievable.
Jeez. This should be a finals.
Yeah, this feels like a finals. Jake, you go first.
Influence? Nirvana. More songs I like? Smashing Pumpkins.
That's fair.
Man, it'd be a lot easier if we had like an actual grading system that I could say.
Like a Matrix.
A Matrix,
Like
exactly.
a
Disney Princess
Disney
Matrix.
Matrix.
Yeah, that's what we should have done.
Can you imagine how big that Matrix would have been? That would have been fun.
You know
though.
what?
That would have
No.
been fun for me to like list like albums and then, number ones
And you would have.
Grammys. And yeah, I totally would have.
My brain is like, yeah, Nirvana, but here's the fact. No, Smashing Pumpkins. I look, I get it. They're not as influential. They're tier 2 compared to them or something by a lot of people's standards, but I way prefer their songs and their albums. And thanks for not killing yourself so you can keep making music for another
Jeez.
decade.
Oh boy. Gotta get some hate mail at baconsalepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for giving us the exact.
No, they're writing it down.
Joel, you go next.
I'm going next?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta give it to Nirvana. I understand Jake's perspective, and this is one of those mind versus heart things.
Yep.
Because Smashing Pumpkins, those are the songs I still enjoy to this day. Nirvana, I really liked back in the day, and I do understand their voice of generation. I don't like them as much to listen to now. Like when they would come on, there was a couple I even skipped off Nevermind that I was like, no, let's go to the next one.
Me too.
But Smashing Pumpkins, I'm a huge fan. But the problem is Nirvana. More influential, more 90s alternative. I'm saying Nirvana.
Smashing Pumpkins.
No! Oh, you are kidding!
I'm so sorry.
You are
everyone.
kidding!
I have to knock
Kid,
Nirvana
no,
out.
then this isn't you being contrary. This is not
being
you just being contrary.
Did you see me struggling over here?
Yes, but you're a good actor.
I'm
Ish.
not really.
Yeah, he fools us all the time.
Are you kidding? We cannot knock out Nirvana.
I am so
in the Sweet
sorry.
16.
That is really going to upset people.
Kent, that is bad.
I know.
That
And
is bad.
And I feel bad.
Look, here's the fact, though. I stand by that. I stand by that, even though I know.
How can I be the only Vulcan in the room here and be logical about this?
I love Nirvana, right? I love even from the Muddy Banks of Wishkah. I mean, I even the extra stuff. They're like Tupac, how they kept releasing albums. I still bought them and loved them because they fit my mood in the 90s. Even when I went more punk, I'd still listen to Nirvana. But Smashing Pumpkins, like throughout the 90s, were just more me.
They made better music.
You guys, this is bad.
I know.
You just knocked out.
Nervous.
You've knocked out Green Day and Nirvana, two of the biggest names in alternative music in the 90s.
Yeah, both tier ones.
Both
They're
your
both tier
decisions.
ones.
I want to point out those are both your decisions, not mine.
Oh, take it easy. All right.
Bring it on.
We can't complain about anything he's done this episode.
I know. It's true.
Are you kidding me?
I know. I'm shocked.
I feel bad.
Are we okay with this?
Yeah.
Can we move on from this?
We have to move on.
I can make so many cases against it, but the problem is I think Kent's put his feet in the ground and
Nirvana
he's digging in.
didn't even make it to the
That
8.
is disgusting.
They should have gone against Smashing Pumpkins.
Whose fault is that? Chunga. you like that. No, it's you and Chunga. You and Chunga and Spinari seating
blame.
these wrong. There's no way that should have gone down like that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, how dare you?
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, everyone is compared to Nirvana. Everyone talks about Nirvana. Everyone is influenced by Nirvana. You just knock them out.
To me, Disarm is Glycerine.
I love
is
Disarm.
a beautiful song.
Oh, I love Disarm. That's what I'm saying. I like the songs better, but I'm
1979.
I'm being more
Tonight,
objective.
Tonight alone beats Nirvana.
I actually don't like Tonight as much.
Really?
Really?
Overplayed.
wow.
That one got played way too much.
Bullet with butterfly wings.
We used to have
That one I
drums, and I used to. I didn't know how to play drums, but I could play the drums to Tonight, and it was way fun. Anyways, Smashing Pumpkins.
Kidding me?
I am shocked and delighted.
I had so many arguments and so many notes that I thought was going to pull out a little bit each round, and now they're all gone.
Anything
all
else you
about
want to
the
say about
upset.
Nirvana? Because they're
I did like this one thing from Kurt Cobain. He says, "Why do journalists insist on coming up with second-rate Freudian evaluation of my lyrics when 90% of the time that they've transcribed them incorrectly?" He wrote, "Music first, lyrics were just second."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Well, I read about that with Smells Like Teen Spirit, especially. And I mean, obviously, everyone knows the title is just nonsense, but
By the way, the baby on the cover. Oh yeah, the title. Never mind. By the way, it's grammatically incorrect, and he knew that, and he just did it to infuriate us English majors.
oh, that seems about right.
And the baby on the cover, he's 26 now.
That's weird.
Does that not blow your mind?
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know,
Bring it back, guys. Bring Nirvana back. Change
I
your
want
votes.
to.
Change your votes.
I really want to.
Change your votes.
favorite song from Nirvana. I'll say it Smells Like Teen Spirit. Obviously, best riff. I mean, like that's
great.
That song. Although the background on that makes me kind of like it less. Is like one of the band members was like, "Hey, Kurt, check out this riff I did," and it was way faster than what actually made it. And Kurt hated it so much he made him practice it over and over again. And then after they did it for a while, he was like, "Actually, let's slow that down." And then they came up with Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then he just yelled random things during the song. Mm-hmm. That's the song.
Right.
I'm so
Which makes me
shocked.
like it a lot less, honestly.
No, for me, it's like because I love Unplugged in New York so much, one of my first albums. Again, it's a lot of the covers they sing, which are great. One of my favorite Nirvana songs, I say that with quotes, is it's Girl, My Girl, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Like, I love that song. Lithium is probably my favorite original Nirvana song. I'm so sorry. I feel like I've ruined everything.
We've lost all credibility now because of you two jerks.
All right, Joel, what about you? We're giving him a nice send-off.
Oh, I love Lithium. I think that's a really fun one.
Lithium? That's your number one?
I don't know, because I do like Smells Like Teen Spirit. And one of the few, I realized I neglected to say this last time, they were one of the few that got a Weird Al parody of Smells Like Nirvana. And I like them both. Oh, man.
All right, let's move on.
I feel like we can't be happy.
All right, next round is going to be...
Doesn't matter.
It's over.
It's over. With Green Day and Nirvana
Your
out,
bracket is busted.
we've got this is basically the entire, everyone's bracket has been busted now.
Look,
this is ridiculous.
my favorite 90s bands are still in. Honestly, I'm happy with every decision we made so far.
That's
Okay,
disgusting.
let's do this.
That is
I'm
disgusting.
happy with every one. Cake versus Counting Crows is next. And this is difficult.
I like Fashion Nuggets so much that I probably listen to it more than any Counting Crows album. but I can't dispute how great the Counting Crows were in the 90s and how I do kind of think Cake is tacky at this point. I don't revisit them a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
And so for me, it's Counting Crows.
Their legacy hasn't been great.
I'm going to go Cake, just because I feel like Rock and Roll Lifestyle was really one of those, where did that come from kind of hits. And then you get Never There, which was, I mean, it was on the box all the time.
That
and
was still 90s
I played
too,
that while driving all the time. The Distance and Sheep Go to Heaven, like all these songs that really felt like that era to me. And like I said, Counting Crows, I like their 2000 work maybe better. So I'm going to say Cake.
Like later Cake, Love You Madly, I think that might have been after 90s.
You realize I'm already marking Cake as gone because I know you love Counting Crows like you love your own wife.
Well, doesn't your wife love Counting Crows?
She likes 2000s.
Shouldn't you love Counting Crows as you love your wife?
Yeah,
I love my wife.
Sounds like a Bible
regardless.
verse. Love Counting Crows as you
Thou
love your
shalt
wife.
count thy crows as thou shalt love thy wife. That thy days may be long in the land.
Cleave unto the crows that have been counted.
all right, yeah, it's Counting Crows.
Okay,
And
Counting Crows, move on.
I have like infinite tidbits about them.
I have infinite complaints about your guys' performance in this show.
I love my performance in this show. All right, next matchup is, I mean, they're all going to be big ones really from here, aren't they? Well, not
No,
quite.
we just keep knocking out the big ones.
Oh yeah, we'll just knock those out, and then we can have Cranberries and Everclear fight.
Yeah. Yes, please.
All right, Foo Fighters versus Alanis Morissette. My first,
Yeah, go for it.
Foo Fighters.
Alanis Morissette.
Foo Fighters.
Come on!
Yeah.
One of the biggest 90s selling. Oh my gosh, I'm not even talking to you guys anymore. This is ridiculous.
Foo Fighters is easily.
You guys are just trying to cause controversy.
I am
Here
not
you
at
were
all.
praising Nirvana, and there's a band that's better than Nirvana.
Kent, up here.
Right?
Thank heaven somebody else has some sense.
You guys are idiots.
Alanis had one great alternative album, and then she went soft.
Yep, she did. She went soft.
And she was soft before. She
Yeah.
had one alternative session, and that was it.
She had a great. It was kind of like a flash in the pan. Now it was one heck of a flash in the pan, and it's still very listenable. But Foo Fighters, come on, the legacy.
No, I think I like Foo Fighters, but come on. Knocking out Alanis Morissette this early.
I feel like I need to agree with you more on this show because I'm starting to feel a little like we're picking on you.
No, you're not picking on me. You're basically just throwing any credibility you have out the window.
Oh, I'm sure
He's just worried
the
about us.
listener is okay with Alanis being knocked out.
I agree. I don't think anybody's going to be real upset about that one. But
Yeah, mark those words.
All right, next round is the Red Hot Chili Peppers versus the Cranberries. Snide remark by Joel.
He was opening his mouth to the mic. He's like, here we go.
I was actually going to say, Ken, do you want to go first in this one? Because we know which way you're going to vote.
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Cranberries.
Yeah.
You had no idea this was coming all of a sudden.
I didn't. I feel
I've been against Red Hot Chili Peppers almost since the beginning.
Cranberries,
And yet
Red
it's
Hot
Kent's
Chili
dream.
Peppers.
Hey, Jacob, can I tell you something? Both of our wild card picks have been knocked out. Seems only fair to knock out Ken.
Now you're not even going with any objectivism.
Well, you guys aren't either.
I
Picking
am
from a hat right now.
I am not. I have picked truly and
By the way, I do want to say this on the tour for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Apparently, Anthony Kiedis got injured a lot. Kiedis badly injured his. I'll give it while you're thinking, Jacob. Kiedis badly injured his leg while engaging what he calls eyes closed robotic dancing. He tripped over a monitor and fell off the stage, ending up hanging by his cap by the microphone cable, resulting in a cast which he wore for the next 2 months. Then he suffered, and at that same tour, he suffered an additional injury in Prague after falling off the stage while attempting to execute a backflip. He was forced to wear a back brace for the next few shows.
Wow.
And then he had a motorcycle accident and injured his hand.
Whoa.
Same tour, all the same.
Honestly, I think, and if we're trying to convince Jake here, I think Red Hot Chili Peppers are such a great 90s band, and yes, to a lesser extent, the 80s, because they are a touring
And the 2000s.
band.
And 2000s.
The 90s were such a big time for concerts. All of us went to our concerts in the 90s, and then we got too old for it.
Yeah.
The Cranberries, maybe
Jacob.
went on one tour, maybe 2 tours.
I want you to do
Red Hot
something.
Chili Peppers
Okay.
have never
Jacob,
stopped.
I want you to do something.
They can't stop.
I want you to take a moment. and
Addicted
just-
to the shindig.
In your mind, I want you to imagine.
Won't stop. You know you're going to win big.
I want you to imagine Anthony Kiedis' voice. Okay?
okay.
Let it take you back to wherever it wants to take you. Now, I want you to imagine Dolores O'Riordan's voice.
You couldn't even say her name.
I can't because it's so 90s.
That's a compelling argument. You know what we haven't used is we'll use this probably in the next round, right? But if we have to pick between seeing one live, like only one.
Yeah,
or,
who would you rather see?
This isn't his answer, by the way. This is just a question.
My father, he likes me. We're just doing a little Cranberries mashup right now.
This is difficult.
Oh, think about Dreams. Oh, I love that one.
Do you have to let it linger?
Yeah.
I feel like we are talking you out of Cranberries, honestly.
Chili Peppers has some pretty annoying songs too.
Sure.
To be honest. Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
most of their songs.
yeah, like 60-70% are probably
please.
annoying.
Educate yourself.
Well, the Cranberries are more 90s.
They are.
They are more 90s. But for legacy, Chili Peppers.
Jeez. This is disgusting.
This is great.
That honestly, I nearly just voted for Cranberries.
I know.
Just. But no, Chili Peppers, their legacy's too big. It's too big.
Their egos are too big.
That's probably true too.
Well, I got a bad disease. Far from my brain is where
All right, next round. Pearl Jam versus Weezer. Not that anybody cares about this one.
This is ridiculous.
This is this is hard.
10, Vitology. Oh, man.
Yes. And Weezer, the Blue Album. The Blue Album
Can't
alone.
find a better
Do the
band.
Evolution, which is one of the best music videos of the 90s.
Dude, I love that video.
It is one of the best. Oh, and then Weezer, they raised me.
Basically raised you.
They basically raised
Is Rivers
me.
Cuomo your dad?
That was Buddy Holly.
Oh man. So Pearl Jam, I mean you got Jeremy, Daughter, Better Man, Even Flow, Yellow Ledbetter, Last Kiss, Nothing Man. Oh, I love Nothing Man.
Black elderly woman behind a counter in a small town.
Yeah.
There we go. Finally got it.
And then Weezer, you got Buddy Holly, Undone, My Name is Jonas, Say It Ain't So, Only in Dreams, and they had another album too, which was kind of but
Are you kidding me?
oh, may I quote Rivers Cuomo?
Pinkerton? Oh, crazy Rivers Cuomo, please quote him.
This is Cuomo in 2001. The most painful thing in my life these days is the cult around Pinkerton. It's just a sick album, sick in a diseased sort of way. It's such a source of anxiety because all the fans we have right now have stuck around because of that album. But honestly, I never want to play those songs again. I never really want to hear them
I
again.
like that you dated your quote because it's since then he's
And
actually
then-
stopped becoming so annoying
By 2008, Cuomo had reconsidered.
Yeah, of course.
He said
because
Pinkerton's great. It's
he was
super deep, great,
crazy
and
for
off the
about
deck.
15 years, and then he's like, you know what? I like my fans.
He didn't-
I'm glad they
He
appreciate
didn't
my
deal with
music.
fame well. Like
No.
honestly, like those were one of the bands that most of their songs on the second album was like dealing with fame and how awful it was. So, who's going first on this one?
Not me.
Not it. Pearl Jam. It's tough. It's tough. But, I mean, goodness. Weezer has... Weezer has fun songs. What Pearl Jam has is powerful imagery, and they have, my goodness, they're poetic. They talk about real impressive things, and I mean Jeremy and Black, and these guys. And I have like this literature background, so I appreciate Pearl Jam a little bit more for that reason. But it's tough. It's close, but it's going to go to Pearl Jam for me.
Can't go.
No.
I can't do
You
this.
please go.
I can't do this.
Please.
Because this is one of those, like, I remember listening to Spin the Black Circle with Daniel Tinsmergan and just loving that
I should have made
album.
you guys go first.
And listening to Wet My Bed. We thought it was hilarious.
I feel like I'm choosing between my daughters.
You made that really easy the other, like a couple episodes back.
Right.
But then Pearl Jam is so influential. Weezer, the Blue Album, I said oftentimes, is one of the most perfect albums ever. Start to finish. Great album.
Great album.
Kick off with My Name is Jonas, and you're just awesome.
We'll write a postcard to
And
our
ending in
friends.
Only in Dreams, which one, like Glycerin and Only in Dreams, those were the two. Those were the two sacred songs that I kept reserved for those special ladies in my life when I was 16. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Weezer because I've said oftentimes that you said Pearl Jam.
I'm
right?
not super shocked, honestly.
Because
I know that's where your heart goes.
and Pearl Jam is so good though. Like Nothing Man.
They are so
this
good.
is so
Joel.
tough. But if, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna say Weezer. It's done. It's done. I voted.
Are you sure?
No,
You don't seem sure.
I'm not. I actually want just Kent to make the decision, so I don't have to.
Oh, that's one way to do it. Do you need?
Honestly, because
Wait. Before you do, I want to say Eddie Vedder said, "I don't think any of us would be in this room tonight if it weren't for Kurt Cobain from Nirvana."
That's not even true. Pearl Jam they were recording like the same time as Nirvana.
April 8th, 1994, a concert in Fairfax, Virginia, at the Patriot Center. Look it up.
No, it's because he's a nicer guy than Kurt.
Kurt's dead, so that's not.
So that makes it easy.
Because of Pinkerton, it's
No.
Weezer.
No. Kent, no.
You're kidding me. Sorry.
No.
You're kidding me.
No, you can't do that.
I
Oh
am
my
so
gosh.
sorry, Pearl Jam.
Oh, wow.
Kent.
I
Guys.
have to. Pinkerton is so close to my heart.
This guy's...
Who's going to win this bracket then if it's not
Who
Pearl Jam?
even knows?
Like, that's crazy.
You knocked out... Wait, okay, you knocked out Nirvana.
And Green Day.
You knocked out Green Day.
Nirvana.
The only
No, you
seed
can't
one
leave.
is no doubt still in the match.
Oh my gosh. No, you can't knock out Pearl Jam.
I am so sorry.
I'm changing my vote back to Pearl Jam.
You can't.
He can.
You can't.
I can, and I just did, and Pearl Jam is back in and Weezer's out.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
We've never allowed that before. If we've ever joked about this,
Yes.
it looks like I'll be going to Hilton Day this year, and you won't.
I love the Blue album, but the truth is...
You thought I was going to...
He thought you were going to pick Pearl Jam, and he was going to be out of it. No, because he knows Pearl Jam is the better band here.
Well, I think Pearl Jam is more influential.
They're way more
I love
influential.
Weezer, but I think Pearl Jam is more influential.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Eddie Vedder, everyone loves him as this folk hero. His music quality, and I'm sure he's a good songwriter, the quality in music really went downhill, inconsistent at best. And I'm not saying Weezer's great, but Weezer has come back from the low point.
Look,
Eddie
no.
Vedder...
Look, Pearl Jam's done this
I
on
do
purpose,
soundtracks
though.
sometimes.
Like, this is what I figured out in my research, right? They don't like fame. They don't like...
Who would you rather see in concert, Joel?
Well, Weezer.
Right?
But the truth is, I could go either way, and I feel like Pearl Jam deserves to advance more than Weezer does.
They do. They do.
I think
it's
you
over.
are just,
I'm marking them.
You just feel bad that people are going to hate on us.
No, because the thing is, I was going either way, and I'm like, they're both good. But then when you said Weezer, I said, that feels wrong, and I had to change my vote back.
Okay, Pearl Jam.
Oh, finish my thought. Pearl Jam did this on purpose. They actually regret writing songs like Better Man and Daughter because they said they were too poppy, and they didn't want to have songs that were just
How is
like
Daughter
radio
poppy?
play. I don't know.
Don't call me daughter.
Alone, listless, breakfast table. I mean, that is not poppy.
Such a great song.
Yeah,
Such a great song. All right.
It feels more right to have Pearl Jam advance. It's tough.
I am shocked. I thought they were a winner of this whole bracket for you.
I thought Nirvana would be, and Green Day would be.
All right.
Don't call me daughter, not bed too.
All right, next round. Collective Soul versus Live.
So their first album, Mental Jewelry, I once again have to say The Beauty of Grey. If you haven't heard the song, go listen to it.
Yeah.
It is one of the best songs of the 90s, and the live version of the song is incredible, maybe better than the original. All Over You is a great song. Lakini's Juice, these are weird titled songs.
I love
from Secret
Lakini's
Samadhi.
Juice is awesome.
Lakini's Juice is such a fun song. Freaks is a great song. I'm going with Alive. To me, they take it. It is, for me, it's more 90s than Collective Soul, who I've championed this whole time. It's got to be Live.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Collective Soul.
Dang it.
Joe, you're like, okay. No more changing votes.
Here's why.
Can we say that?
Okay, fine. No more changing votes. Unless you want to change Green Day or Nirvana and put them back in.
They Might Be Giants is going through.
I mean, he was still in the round. It's not like we moved to the next round and then he said,
It was in that
let's go
round.
back. It was still in the
And
round.
I think a good argument could have convinced me either way, but the truth is it just felt wrong to knock out Pearl Jam.
Wow.
So, yeah. So now we're at Collective Soul versus Live. You voted
Live.
I voted Collective Soul because Legacy is my reason why. Live was great in the 90s. And if you had asked me in the 90s, I would have leaned Live. But now that it's
Actually,
20 years
early
later?
2000s, great. They did a version of Walk the Line, which is fantastic.
I love that song, but they have a bunch of crap songs too.
And the guys, you have to realize
During
this
that time.
This is the first album I bought, first CD I bought, I should say, versus my friends were in a cover band and they played live songs. And so I have both of these very strong 90s
it.
associations with both of these.
Yep.
And it's not easy.
All right. Do you have your answer though, Joel?
I'm going to have to go with Live.
Live?
Yes.
I'm going with cold hard facts here, and frankly, Live outsold Collective Soul. And as much as I like the world, I
Did
know.
they really? They outsold
Yeah.
them?
You know what's cool about Collective Soul? They were like this garage band, not even like for 2 years before they got famous, for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And then they finally hit it big with Shine.
Yep.
And they, just took over. at that
They're
point.
lifers.
The funny thing about that is that first album, so the one with Shine on it, Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid, that was actually recorded in a basement as a promotional demo, and they didn't intend it to be like the studio one. And then they said, hey, let's release your album. And they said, okay, well, we want to polish it up first. And they said, no, we don't have time for that. Just release it. And so that's the demo.
Wow.
It's kind of
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That the instrumental, the Untitled song. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys?
No.
fantastic. I think it's the first track on there, actually. Anyway, but yeah, like he talks, he's like, yeah.
We'll have a whole losers party for the bracket. And
Wrote that in my mom's. Don't be bitter over there.
Yeah, I'm not bitter. My bad won.
Yeah, you're still bitter about the last round.
I am really bitter.
I'm totally okay with live winning, actually. All right, guys. It's No Doubt and Bush.
Man, the two lovers.
It hurts. I didn't even.
They were married for like 15 years.
Yeah, Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale.
Once again, two of the most attractive people of the 90s.
Jeez.
Man, No Doubt, by April 2014, Tragic Kingdom had sold 16 million copies worldwide. That's a lot. In 16 Stone, 94.
Just a Girl.
30,
Don't Speak. Sunday
Machine
Morning.
Head. Glycerin. Monkey. I love Monkey.
That's a good one.
Ex-Girlfriend. You only call me when you're down.
Everything Zen. Come down.
Oh, everything's Zen.
Oh my gosh.
Swallowed mouth.
I'm voting Bush.
Chemicals Between Us.
I'm voting Bush.
You're voting Bush?
I'm voting Bush because, oh man, that's not easy. It's
I go
not
second.
easy.
I go second. No doubt.
You're learning from the master.
I just want to get it over with. I didn't even own Tragic Kingdom, but I have to go with No Doubt for your reasons of Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
The rule of Pearl Jam, for me, it's No Doubt.
But Bush, 16 Stone, such a good album. Tragic Kingdom, also a very good album. Oh!
Jake, you decide.
You're deciding, Jake.
I'm busy staring into oblivion right now.
We can't really.
I
You want to do arguments to try to convince him?
No, because
No Doubt's more ska than alternative.
they started out ska.
All right. I'll talk myself
and then
through
she
this.
did. Then she did the BANANAS song.
Oh, she went just the worst possible way
Her
with hip-hop
2000s
R&B.
sucked.
I do like What You Waiting
Hollaback
For.
Girl.
I hate Hollaback Girl.
Look, I like No Doubt okay in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they're pretty good. I had the album. I had Tragic Kingdom. Their legacy is obviously stronger than Bush's.
Can I give another point here?
Yeah, let's hear all your facts. Buy me time.
Dave Grohl told MTV News that he did not think Everclear sounded like Nirvana, noting that Bush sounded more like Nirvana than any other band because they compare him to Nirvana because Nirvana should have advanced.
Bush does
There are a
sound...
lot of these strange hindsight quotes from these people.
Yes.
See, now Bush actually makes sense that they came after Nirvana, but like somebody like Pearl Jam, I mean, they were recording simultaneously, so I don't really feel like... Anyway, I'm just trying to distract myself.
You got to pick.
So, No Doubt's legacy's bigger. I like listening to Bush more.
in the world.
Got a machine head, better than the rest.
What are we basing this on? We're basing it off of
This is your
my personal thing?
We're,
Or
as the bracket, as we keep going rounds, our logical arguments have already been made, and now it's up to
and
more
logic
opinions.
is gone.
Logic is kind of leaving.
It has to because we already gave our logical arguments to begin with.
All right, guys. All right. If Logic is leaving,
Oh no.
yes, it's Bush. Listen, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't.
Do you
I can't
realize that
even
if we
defend
let Pearl Jam fall out, we would have been out of tier 1 or seed 1s. But now we have Pearl Jam there. No Doubt is knocked out by Bush.
I'm not even kidding you right now. My heart is actually like racing, and I feel
Somewhere out there, Gavin Rossdale is smiling.
a little sick.
What have you done? Do you want to change it? Even though I said no more changes?
No,
Look,
we can't. No more changes. That
Look,
was the rule.
I mean, like, if I was just going to be like totally objective, like a scientist, I'll be like, No Doubt. But
I think so many people are mad at us right
I mean,
now.
stuff like
Mad at you guys.
if I'm choosing,
I said No Doubt.
if
I'm
I'm
talking
choosing
about the
Gwen
other ones.
Stefani versus Gavin, Gwen wins hands
Yeah,
down.
like in terms of like her originality.
Yes, like
Yes.
her as a person. In fact, let me just say that makes me feel better. Actually, if this is person,
if it's her singing Hollaback Girl, you're there.
no, that doesn't work.
Hey baby, hey baby, hey.
I like that one.
I mean, yeah, I mean he's tapered off into nothing. He's forgotten how to
My
write
little
good
brother
songs.
is a huge fan as well.
Oh, No Doubt.
Bush
Of
is
No
the
Doubt.
band, though.
Of
Bush
Gwen
is the
Stefani.
band. My
Like
heart's there.
my kids call Gwen Stefani Uncle Mikey's girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does his wife feel about that?
That was before he got married, but
Okay,
it's kind of
okay.
carried into it. So yeah.
Don't let the days go by. Glycerine.
All right, guys. Next round. Everclear versus
Everclear.
Matchbox 20.
Everclear.
Really?
They win.
That easy, huh?
What about
Yeah.
you, Jake?
I'd take Matchbox.
Blech.
You didn't have the album. This is the trouble. You didn't have the Third Eye Blind album.
Yeah,
You didn't
how many
have the Matchbox
Everclear
20.
albums
Oh,
did
you're
you
still
own?
on about Third Eye Blind. That was so last week.
Just one.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Why?
Their early one in the 90s, it's great. Fire Maple Song is a great song. Loser Makes Good, great song. Then you have...
I don't even know what you're saying
Soy
right
un perdedor.
But yes. Then you have Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. I love Santa
Sparkle
Monica.
and Fade. Sparkle and Fade's great. So Much for the Afterglow.
I love So Much for the Afterglow. That song. Not just the album, but the whole song. Yeah. This is a song about Susan.
It is a song about the girl next
Everything
door.
to Everyone. I love that song.
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
Come on, do that stupid dance for me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Everclear winning, actually. All right, guys, this means we're down to the Elite Eight.
The Elite Eight.
It's going to get harder.
Oh,
Father of mine, tell me where have you been? Yeah, just close my eyes.
First
and the
one up.
world disappears.
Smashing Pumpkins,
Who beat Nirvana?
who beat Nirvana. Also known as the band that beat
I
Nirvana.
feel so bad.
I know that doesn't sound right.
you guys are so wrong.
All right, versus Counting Crows.
Smashing Pumpkins. No doubt in my mind, Smashing Pumpkins. 90s alternative Smashing Pumpkins.
All right, then
Siamese Dream is widely regarded as one of the best albums of 1990s and one of the best albums of all time.
Where were you on this when they
Look,
were going
look.
against Nirvana?
After the release of Nirvana's Nevermind later that year, the Smashing Pumpkins were hyped as the next Nirvana.
if you look up, I don't know if you have this in your notes, what sold more, the Smashing Pumpkins album or August and Everything After? Because I already know the answer. It's Counting Crows, August and Everything After.
That's one album. That's not Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Jacob. Take a moment, think about Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Just do it in your mind.
All right, I've thought about it. It's Counting Crows.
No!
It's Counting Crows.
By Starlight. Come on, Jacob.
Look, this is tough, and here's
It's not tough.
No, it is tough. Here's why. Like these are personal. I will take Smashing Pumpkins over Nirvana, but Counting Crows, they definitely have my heart.
You're saying Counting Crows is better than Nirvana right now.
I definitely would say that.
Ugh!
I would easily say that.
To quote Kent.
Yeah, but like, and if you think I'm crazy listening to me say that, listen to all their albums, listen to the deep tracks, and you will be on my side. They released an album last year that was just really impressive.
1979, Today, by Starlight. Zero, Disarm, Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
I hear you. I hear you.
No, you don't. Because you're picking Round Here.
You want to hear facts behind that? Here's how they recorded that song.
They made it up as they went along. Whoop-de-freaking-do.
Yeah.
No.
It's cool. It's very cool. No,
It's jamming.
Look, dude,
people do it all the time.
That's what makes it so impressive. They go into a garage.
Around here, they all talk just like lions, but they sacrifice like lambs.
No.
Yeah.
It's Smashing Pumpkins.
All right, Kent.
So, Joel, you did Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
Jake, you did
I did Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
We are told to cleave unto the crows that are counted.
Don't do it.
Much like unto our wives.
Don't do it.
But I'm not married. They only come out at night. Gotta be Smashing Pumpkins.
Thank you.
All right.
The days are much too bright.
Look, I couldn't live with myself if I had not voted for Counting Crows.
I know.
But I'm totally happy with that choice as well. Like, I'm comfortable with how far Counting Crows made
You
it.
know, and despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat. in
Oh,
a
such a
cage.
good song. Such a good song.
It really is. Next round, Foo Fighters versus the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Foo Fighters. How many times do I have to argue against Red Hot Chili Peppers before they finally get knocked out of the
Well,
stupid
they're
bracket?
in the Elite Eight.
They
so,
don't
I mean,
belong there.
They belong there.
Nirvana belongs there more. Green Day belongs there more. Counting Crows may belong there more, for all I know.
They belong there.
No.
They're one of the best bands of the 90s.
Foo Fighters.
Kent, who are you going to pick?
It's Foo Fighters. Oh! It's Foo Fighters. They're easily winning this one. I actually, in 1999, or maybe it's early 2000, these two came to concert down to the E Center / Maverick Center, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
They came together, and it was a great show. Foo Fighters opened for the Chili Peppers and outplayed them like crazy. They were awesome.
That seems about right, actually.
Yeah, Dave Grohl played every instrument. When we went to the drums, I mean, it was awesome.
Dude, see, that's a real musician. Like, that's
Yeah.
a legacy. Like, that's
It
the
really
thing
is.
that Cobain was afraid that he would have. Like, David Grohl is awesome. He's a legend.
Yes.
He is.
So, Jake?
Jacob, what would you have voted for?
Foo Fighters.
Yes. So it's
Sweet.
sweet right there.
Yep.
Take that, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The next one, Pearl Jam,
It's almost Weezer.
which was almost Weezer.
It's Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam versus Live.
I listen to Live way more than I listen to Pearl Jam, which is why I really haven't been a Pearl Jam champion this entire time.
Dude, you need to dig in. Go back and listen.
Oh, I know. No, I actually liked No Code, which was kind of a disappointing album.
It's a good album.
Even though half the songs are bad, but half are great.
Half are great.
And that's kind of Pearl Jam. Oh, man, I would put not any live song. I would put The Beauty of Grey up against any Pearl Jam song and enjoy it more. But I'm going to go objectively on this one. I have to go with my mind. It's going to have to be Pearl Jam.
Do you like Black? Do you like that song?
Yes, I do.
Black is amazing.
But it's so mood music. Like, I can't get in my car and be like, I want to drive and just get energized and listen to Jeremy.
No, that's not what it's for.
but
right?
Okay, Kent. And I was if you were going to
listen to Corduroy or Evolution or
Yeah, I'd love to do the Evolution.
I've thought about this.
Yes.
And the truth is, if you started singing a live song right now, it doesn't have to be in tune. It doesn't have to be.
I alone love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now do any Pearl Jam song.
Oh, where
can my baby be? You cannot.
Sounds like a dying cow.
Sing along with Pearl Jam and do an Eddie Vedder impersonation. That is 90s. I'm voting Pearl Jam.
Good argument. Good argument. No, it is. That's a solid argument. The
Logic out the
influence is
window.
there. All right. I vote Pearl Jam as well.
That voice, that Eddie Vedder's voice, is 90s.
All right, next round, Bush, which could have been No Doubt. Just to rub that in the wound a little bit. Bush versus Everclear.
Oh, wow.
I'm going first.
Okay.
All right,
Everclear.
Everclear.
I
love both.
Man, because I love a lot of Everclear songs. But that same concert, when I saw Everclear was the X96 Bash, there were like 10 bands. Bush was the headliner. I gotta go Bush.
Okay.
They were the bigger, more influential band in my life. And 16 Stone, as much as I think Sparkle and Fade is a good album, and I think that So Much for Afterglow is a good album, it's pick and choose on the songs, whereas 16 Stone I can listen to start to finish and enjoy every song. Bush.
I would have been way, way closer to choosing No Doubt over Bush than I would Everclear over Bush. It has to be Bush.
So much for the afterglow.
In fact, I'm really having a Joel moment here with the No Doubt and Bush thing because my brain's like, nope, this should have been no. I'm like, yeah, but I voted with my heart. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're to the final four.
Guys, we're to the final four.
Who are the final four? Can
Here
you just
are our
list them?
finalists.
No, in no particular order.
Jewel.
No. Smash Mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's just make up a new final four. All right. We have the Smashing Pumpkins. We have the Foo Fighters. We have Pearl Jam. And we have Bush.
Guys, this is a good lineup. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a good lineup.
This is a good lineup.
This is a good representation
This is a
of the
very
90s.
strong lineup.
In my mind, though, like when we started this bracket ages ago, not just when we started recording, when we started the bracket, in my mind, it was Green Day, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Weezer was going to be the final four. I thought for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a confession right now. When we were talking about it, I was sick to my stomach thinking, crap, it's going to be Nirvana or Green Day that wins. And
That's why you knocked them out.
that's going to just break my heart.
My fear was Green Day or Offspring going all the way. Two tacky bands.
No. Yeah, both good. All right, let's do
Are
this.
you guys ready to battle? All right, this is where we bring out all the information, okay? Every argument we have, you have.
In this one or in the finals?
I think we start with the final four. We start bringing out the arguments.
I don't have much more left. I've kind of unloaded all the shotgun barrels.
All right, so here's some of our criteria, right? If we want to use this, you're in a field between two bands having a live concert. You can only attend one of them.
Right.
Okay, you pick. Or you only get to pick one, not album, but artist that continues to live, basically. Exist.
Whoa, calm down.
We're not trying to kill anybody, but like if...
They've already
By
taken
the way,
care of that
you guys know that
themselves.
Cranberries had a song called I Shot John Lennon?
Really?
It's weird. And it ends with like 5 gunshots at the end. I was like, oh. Anyway.
All right, so let's leave it with those things, and let's go with the first matchup. Smashing Pumpkins versus Foo Fighters.
I'll go first.
This is a good
This is my
argument.
final
This is
right
tough.
here.
I'll go first. Because the truth is, like, I'm going to go Smashing Pumpkins, and it's going to be fairly easy for me just because Foo Fighters,
Really?
I didn't grow to appreciate, like I said, Everlong. I love Everlong. But I really didn't grow to appreciate them until later. And if I was sitting in the field between two bands, I would lean towards Smashing Pumpkins because I know more of those songs and identify with more of those songs. And Foo Fighters, as much as they have those iconic standout numbers, a lot of their songs kind of meld together in my mind.
Yeah, you haven't
It's a lot
listened
of-
to enough then, yeah.
But I mean, like, you look at Siamese Dream, and it has like dream pop, heavy metal, progressive rock, and just Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness was such an undertaking. And Billy Corgan is such an iconic figure. Like, you see him and you see 90s.
Yep.
Whereas Dave Grohl's still making albums now, still doing a great job, still making good music.
I think that's an argument for Foo Fighters, though.
It's a legacy thing, but at the same
Yeah.
time, we're going for best 90s alternative band, not best band of all time.
Yeah, but this is also legacy. Legacy plays a huge role in it.
And I think Smashing Pumpkins has a very strong legacy of a 90s alternative band. I
Right.
think they won 2 Grammys in the 90s with Bullet with Butterfly Wings and The End is the Beginning and the End. And I just think they're a darn good band. I'm going to choose Smashing Pumpkins.
I'm going Foo Fighters.
You're going Foo Fighters?
I'm definitely going
really
Foo
worried
Fighters.
about that.
Yeah. So, Kent, we're counting on you to choose correctly.
2 of my favorite bands in the 90s.
Yeah, that's tough.
And one, I continue to love them even into the 2000s. Even maybe, well, not more so, because the color and the shape is one of the best albums of the 90s.
I continue
gosh.
to love both of them, honestly. In fact, all of our final 4.
They're all good bands.
I'll stick around and vote for Foo Fighters.
No!
He's so mad.
Guys, you guys... Oh! Foo Fighters is a good band, but they're not a 90s alternative powerhouse.
Are you serious? This is a call, my hero, Monkey Wrench.
Monkey Wrench.
Walking After You. Oh, man, next year, I mean, just...
And the legacy.
They are more rock than alternative.
New Way Home. Have you heard New Way Home?
They are more rock than alternative. Smashing Pumpkins is alternative.
Foo Fighters is now rock. They've gone more into the rock.
No, they sound
This
a lot
time
more
they
rock
were
than
straight up
Smashing Pumpkins.
alternative.
Smashing Pumpkins is so diverse.
I love them. I'm not hating on Smashing Pumpkins.
But you
I'm
just
saying-
knocked them out of the
saying
bracket.
for legacy and everything else.
Oh, come on.
They're so great.
Yeah, keep your pet projects in. You're fighting for them all the way.
Foo Fighters is not a pet project. Kent's already said he thinks they're a superior band to Nirvana.
Yes.
All right.
Obviously, because he chose that and he knocked out Nirvana.
You just want to keep reminding people.
Oh, they don't need to be reminded. They know.
So that means Foo Fighters makes it to the finals.
All this time to make amends. What do you do when
Next match,
all your
Pearl Jam versus Bush.
I'm going to go first. Bush. Do you want me to say why?
Yeah. Let's hear
You
why.
gotta.
Okay, because I didn't own The Science of Things, and I didn't really care for the chemicals between us. So late 90s, like
was a very-
99.
that was
I
a
didn't really
mood
care.
change
It
there.
was.
Yeah.
But those first 2 albums, I bought them, listened to them all the time.
Me too.
And I honestly I didn't feel as moody enough to really get into Pearl Jam. I liked the songs I heard on the radio, and I eventually bought every album, but I still didn't feel connected to it. It was just too
So you're basically doing my Bush no doubt
somber,
decision.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It was just too dang somber. And for me, Bush just had it. They were rocking, and their ballads were great. And I know you could say the same thing about Pearl Jam, but
So
it wasn't
Bush,
for me.
Bush versus Nirvana. You say Bush wins.
No, it's Nirvana.
Yeah?
Good. Nirvana's back in?
All right. So he said Bush. Do you want to go next, Joel?
Sure. So, as I said before, 16 Stone, I love that album, start to finish. But the truth is, I don't like Razor Blade Suitcase as much. I don't like The Science of Things that much. And I look at Pearl Jam's albums, and they got 10, Versus, Vitology, No Code, and Yield.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting all gurgly. 10, Versus, and Vitology are the main ones I'm focusing on here because those ones are
Because No
really,
Code and Yield were kind of disasters when they came out.
They weren't great, but
But they ended up being good.
did you guys know?
You don't think?
Did you guys know by February 1993? Here it is again. By February
cut those.
1993, by February 1993, American sales of 10 surpassed those of Nevermind, the breakthrough album by fellow grunge band Nirvana.
Yep.
I got to give it to Pearl Jam. I like Bush, but their follow-up wasn't great. I think Pearl Jam had a bigger influence and a longer-lasting influence in the 90s.
I loved Bush before I was listening to Pearl Jam. I had their albums for a year or two even before I'd listened to Pearl Jam because the songs I'd heard from them were just the radio hits, right? And then I discovered this. I finally got an album, and the first one I actually bought was Yield. And
Really?
that was the first one.
Wow.
And then what I discovered in Yield, which most people didn't like, is that I wasn't listening to, and I had lots of these bands that were making really great music, but it was always just kind of fun. It was light. And then I get this Pearl Jam album, and I'm like, this is a different level. These guys are artists in a different way. I think they hit like this legendary sort of status. So I'm gonna have to give it to Pearl Jam.
Okay.
I was very nervous.
My home, my
right, guys. That means our final matchup
In our 90s alternative bracket.
90s alternative bracket.
Do you know what's funny? No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you got?
When we did I think it was the getting to know Baconsale, a question came up and it was Nirvana versus Pearl Jam, and the three of us said Nirvana. But now we have Pearl Jam in the finals.
I tried.
I know you tried.
I stayed true to myself. What'd you guys do?
If it was Pearl Jam versus Nirvana, I'd say Pearl Jam.
Really?
Yeah, if that was what it was right now.
Well, I'll start on this one because it's obvious where I lean. I'm going to say Pearl Jam because I don't think Foo Fighters belongs in the final two.
Yeah.
I think that Pearl Jam is the more influential band. I think they're more alternative than Foo Fighters, as much as I like Foo Fighters. Because that's the thing is, I don't want people to get the impression that we're hating on these bands. We're very passionate about it because we like these bands. But I feel like Foo Fighters is a substitute of a band that should be in there. I think Pearl Jam belongs in the final two. I'm saying Pearl Jam for the win for the most 90s alternative band, the Baconsale bracket.
For legacy and consistency, I have to go with Foo Fighters.
I knew you would.
Just all the way through their entire career, they have had quality. Rarely a dull moment with these guys. Dave Grohl is a musical genius.
Rarely a dull moment of pure fuzz.
Huh?
He's saying they all blend together.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think their ballads are perfect.
We'll make
February Stars.
We'll make a playlist for you, Joel.
I mean, there's so much goodness.
I'm not
with
listening
Foo
to them
Fighters.
again after this show.
You probably aren't, are you? But I just think from their self-titled, what they had to come from Nirvana. This guy had to be like, yeah, cool, I'm the drummer from Nirvana. I'm the ugly drummer from Nirvana, and I have to make a band, and everyone's going to compare me to Kurt Cobain. And what did he do? He just nailed it out of the park.
He did a great job of creating those band. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying 90s alternative.
With the
Pearl
band
Jam.
called Foo Fighters.
Who's still around making good hits today. That pulls them away from the 90s.
But legacy, to me, that's legacy.
Legacy
That
is people still know about them.
You're going to go to
today.
that concert and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, they could play 100 songs and they're all going to be great. Pearl Jam is
They're all
going to
gonna
have
sound the
20
same.
great songs that you liked in the 90s.
It's not as much legacy as they're still going today as much as it is you say their name, people think 90s alternative. Pearl Jam does that. Foo Fighters, they're still around. They're still around.
Yeah, thanks for singing that song. That was a really memorable song.
It's all stick around, Kent. You didn't know that because you don't know anything about them.
I just barely said that lyric. Anyways, it's Foo Fighters.
You know, I'm looking back here. If Smashing Pumpkins had lost to Nirvana, then Nirvana would have been up against Counting Crows and would have beat Counting Crows. And then it would have been Foo Fighters versus Nirvana,
That would have been a good matchup.
where Foo Fighters would have won.
No.
They would have, because Kent and I would have voted for Foo Fighters.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they shouldn't.
So if that is the alternate path here. Like if we hadn't made that Smashing Pumpkins decision, Nirvana would still be out.
Troy left the room to go get pizza. There's an alternate timeline.
Good
place
reference.
is on fire.
Yeah. I'm creating an alternate time. Sure you are, Abed.
All right. So here's
Jacob, this comes down to you.
here's the truth. I could not, I mean this with my whole heart, be happier with the choices we've made.
Really?
I could.
You're really happy with this shit.
Everyone, I am delighted with this.
Do you forgive us for Third Eye Blind?
Yes, I will now forgive you for Third Eye
really
Blind.
worried.
It had been weighing on Kent, I could tell.
Yeah.
You know, I was worried about Green Day. I was worried about Blink. I was worried about Nirvana, and No Doubt as well, because I think they should be up there, but I was afraid they'd get to the finals, and I didn't think they should be there. I just delighted. So Foo Fighters versus Pearl Jam. I think these are two of the most, and Smashing Pumpkins is right there with them.
And Nirvana and Green Day.
And they might be giants.
Bush.
Cardigans.
Counting Crows.
Nope.
Candlebox.
Who? Who's Candlebox? How did they be Goo Goo Dolls?
I like how
Every
you're
conversation.
imitating.
Oh, yeah, those
the
are your
not smart-
friends.
It's like the Slagjog yokel. He's intimidating.
These are your friends at work.
Legacy,
Imitating.
folks. No one knows who Candlebox is.
With my whole heart, Pearl Jam
For the win,
for the win.
No! Your whole heart?
we maintain
Yeah.
some credibility.
They win. They win. I'm not going for the hipster on that. Foo Fighters is amazing. David Grohl just impresses the heck out of me.
Yes.
Pearl Jam, however, they're incredible. What they have made and their musical values and what they've done and the lyrical quality that they put out. You go back to 10, there's 20 songs that I think are just outstanding. So
It's Bugs, isn't it? Bugs won you over.
Bugs.
I got bugs in my hair.
Guys, let's give it a Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
It was a hard-fought battle.
It was.
Weezer almost took you out. Weezer almost took them out.
What would have happened in the alternate timeline?
Foo Fighters would have beat
Foo
Weezer.
Fighters?
Foo Fighters would have won.
No,
Yeah.
I would have said Weezer, but
I know you would have, but it would have lost.
Man.
I would have had to go Foo Fighters against Weezer.
Yes.
That would have been-
honestly, second
that would
place,
have been really
second
close,
place for
though.
Foo Fighters for a spin-off band from Nirvana.
they deserve top
pretty
10.
incredible.
It is.
they deserve top 10 maybe.
You're just mad.
I just don't think Foo Fighters should have gotten this far.
Sorry.
But no, thank you for playing along with this. We hope you're not too angry, but if you are, let Kent and Jacob know how angry you are at them.
Or how impressed you are
at
with our logic.
Baconsale.com.
And I'll see you guys at Hilton Day
On our-
2017.
No, you bumped out Weezer, no doubt. You are no longer.
I voted for Weezer, and I voted for No Doubt.
But yes, you can let us know at baconsale.com or on our Facebook page. We're also on Twitter at Baconsale. Interact with us. We enjoy it. But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter, or you can find me at Quick Wits. They perform every Saturday night at the Midville Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quick Wits Facebook page.
If you guys want to find me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. If you want to read my movie review song parodies, it's ShowtimeShowdown.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Jacob A. Rogers. You can also buy our merchandise. You can go to gumroad.com/baconsale or click on the links that are it's the pinned posts on
Twitter
Facebook
and
Facebook. So find us there. Also follow us on Twitter at Baconsale. We love more followers.
We'll see you on our 100th show.
And we will see you on our 100th show.
Woo! Love counting crows as you
Thou
love your
shalt
wife.
count thy crows as thou shalt love thy wife.
Cleave unto the crows that have been counted.
Those are the two sacred songs that I kept reserved for those special ladies in my life when I was 16.
It looks like I'll be going to Hilton Day this year, and you won't. Somewhere out there, Gavin Rosdell is smiling. We are told to cleave unto the crows that are counted.
Don't do it.
Much like unto our wives.
Don't do it.
But I'm not married.
Guys, you guys. Oh! Foo Fighters is a good band, but they're not a 90s alternative powerhouse.
Enunciate the tea.
I drank the tea he gave to me. It was against the word of wisdom.
Please bring it on.
Yeah.
Team JK for life.
Yeah. Don't resist those.
Well, some people just don't understand happiness. That's what it comes down to.
When I was 11, fingertips was my jam.
Because I
Let
love
the record show Joel just made a pouty face.
I did. It's because I am a deep thinker, creative person. Unlike all those other slack-jawed yokels out there who don't like him. Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping and thumping in time.
Oh.
Why is Scuttle here?
It did sound like Scuttle.
It's only going to get worse, though.
It is just going to get worse.
Please forgive me and forgive Kent for a stupid decision. I want to say this, and please don't be shocked, but when I listen to Everlong, it makes me want to work out.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Hey, Mom, can I borrow some money to go buy a CD? Yeah, which band? They're called Green Day. I think they're environmentalists. This is something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right.
You are foolish. Both of you are
time of your
foolish.
life. It's super weird and Canadian.
Go with your truth, man. Go with your heart.
I just feel bad for bare naked ladies.
I can smell the BS all over you, Kent.
High five for Blossom, but
Is that what those posters are in your bedroom? I didn't realize.
Gavin Rosdell.
The apathy is strong with this one.
And thanks for not killing yourself so you can keep making music for another decade.
Get some hate mail at baconsale@gmail.com. We've lost all credibility now because of you two jerks.
Snide remark by Joel.
That sounds like a very delicious dessert.
Hootie cake.
That sounds dirty.
I've got the end of the show already.